Happy Tuesday. This is Trisha Turner. This is Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. I got my friend Ben with me here today, and we're going to talk about something a little bit different. It's definitely still real estate related, but we're usually talking about real estate sales, and in essence, we still are. But Ben has got like this amazing group going on and this amazing career. And so I thought it would be really cool because it's a hot topic for a lot of people, and that's home flipping and house flipping and investing. And so Ben is quite the expert at it now. He's got a lot of experience with it. So Ben, first of all, thank you for being here with me today.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here, Trisha. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, for sure. So most people don't know you that are probably tuning in right now, but they should. So if you could just give a little bit backstory about you, like what got you involved in real estate, and why the house flipping thing? How did you end up doing this?
Sure. So a little background about me is I just got a notification, I believe, from Trek. I've been in real estate for going on 4 years. When I started as an agent. I was actually a mechanic, working on cars all day. When my friend Connor Watkins, he started telling me about what he was doing in real estate. He was doing a lot of commercial leasing. And he kind of did the Jordan Belfort thing. He said, let me. He showed me all these invoices. He was like, I'm about to make $50,000 of all these real estate commission checks. So come be in real estate. And so I got my license. What I did was I was working 10, 12 hours a day. I was coming home and I was doing the online classes at night. And I finished very quickly. I was pretty motivated to do that. I've always been very motivated in kind of what can I do to move forward and to go to the next level. So I was motivated to do those classes and get that done. I did the commercial leasing for a little bit less than a year when I unfortunately got kind of moved out of that space. We'll just say.
What did you think about commercial leasing?
Well, it was great, and I think that I learned a lot of lessons. But before I got into the commercial leasing, I had never talked. I had no phone skills. So, yes, so I was put in an office here on Westheimer, actually not too far from our office now, and I was put with a bunch of other young real estate agents, and they said, "Hey, these are some leads that want to lease, and go ahead and call them." And so it's a really good experience calling and getting hung up on. And I didn't know how to speak clearly on the phone or anything like that, and so kind of just I've really worked on my communication skills for the last 4 years, and I think those communication skills have really been important. From there, I developed a relationship with an agent in that brokerage, and when I actually got fired from being a top producer at that brokerage, I got with one of the other agents, and I was actually in charge of training him. I was in charge of training him because we were doing very well on the agent side. And so he actually came over to my apartment at that point, and he was learning from me and my other team member on how to do better with the leasing. And at night, he was actually getting on his, it was 7, 8 o'clock at night after training all day, right? And he would get on his computer and he would be running PPC and Bing ads. And I'm like, what are you doing there? What are you doing? He's like, oh, I got a mentor or something like that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, just another mentor. Everybody says that. And but it might not amount to anything, right? So I would check on him. His name was Jonathan. I actually saw him about a month ago, and he's doing great as well. But I would check on him every couple weeks, every month. I'd say, hey, how's that an investing thing you said you're doing, or the wholesaling or the flipping houses thing? And he every month or so he'd say, oh, I flipped another house and I made $30,000. And I didn't really believe it at first, but I kept checking in, and then he showed me some checks, and so I thought it was for real, and I said, I'll come to Dallas and teach me whatever you're doing. And so I went to Dallas. I paid him to train me for a couple of days, and then we started JVing deals together, 50-50 for a while that first year. And that's kind of a little bit about how I've got going. And I've basically kept moving, kept always evaluating where's my time best spent. Like I'm sure you do very frequently. Where's my time best spent?
Yep.
What resources do I have? And where's that best new direction? Because, the market, whether you're an agent or an investor, the market's always changing.
Yeah.
And so, started out wholesaling, was doing, well with that. But I didn't have a team or anything like that. And now, we're doing 5 fix and flips right now. We're refinancing properties. We have two land deals going right now. We have attorneys helping us with easements. All different types of things. So have kind of just kept swimming in that direction moving forward.
Okay, so when most people get their real estate license, they think about real estate sales, selling and listing homes and all that. What made you not go that direction?
Good question. There are there's a lot of similarities because I think first and foremost. It's marketing. We're in marketing and sales with whatever business you're in. If you're in a plumbing business, an AC business, moving business, we have to do an agent. You have to do that marketing first. So there's a lot of similarities, but I never really got my foothold in well with listing properties and working with buyers. I just had really done that commercial leasing. So my mindset wasn't too fixated in the agent route. And that's definitely something that I think affects people because I'm able to look at things a little bit differently because my mind hasn't been trained for 15 years on, how do we get the seller the top dollar? There's a little bit different things we're looking at. And so it helps me look at things different ways. And there's pros and cons, and every seller is looking for different things. And most sellers are looking for that agent and for that top dollar, but others aren't, or they value the speed and convenience that we can offer.
And so in this just short amount of time, you have an office now, correct?
Yes, I was actually worried about distracting my guys here. Yes, I'm in the office. We have Angel here. He's actually stepped outside. I hope I wasn't distracting him too much. I think he's talking to a seller. And then we have Max working here. So I have two acquisitions guys. They're making calls. They're talking to sellers. They're going on appointments. And then also I'm training them as well to work with real estate agents and wholesalers to get win-win solutions with them. So.
I love that. So when you first started this, did you have any idea it would grow to the size that it is right now?
Definitely not. I think things change as you go. I was talking with my business partner before we got our office, and I said, if we get the office, we have to take this at a big scale. And I know a lot of people are really concerned, like, what's your net profit and things like that. It is important to think about, and it's important to know. But things change when you get people in your organization. I'm thinking of my guys, also our contractors as well. How do we? It's not just about me anymore. So how can we, move everybody forward? I'm sure you think about your agents all the time. What can I do to help them? But at the end of the day, though, if you can make your people, successful. I just had my team member Max. He hadn't taken a vacation in a very long time. He just took a trip and he saw his parents in New York City. He just got a Cadillac SRX as well with our help. So that means a lot to me.
That feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And look, you started this just a short time ago and you were just doing flips on your own, and now look what you've grown.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot of learning. Definitely the first. I was flipping houses 2 years ago and they were not going well. So it's definitely and that's why, we can mention the meetup at the end. Anything you can get from people along the way with things not to do, that's obviously very, very important.
It's helpful. So I'm curious, last year with the pandemic and, real estate, the market is on fire. That affected your business up or down either way?
That's a great question. To be frank with you, it did. I mean, we had multiple deals fall out of escrow. We had a couple large deals that they did fall out of escrow. So when you have times, as a business owner, when we go into these times, people are saying different things, oh, let me double down on marketing and double my marketing spend, or should I stay the same, or should I just pull the plug on everything? And sometimes it's hard to decide. So we actually, we lost some deals, but we kept on trucking. And I think the mindset is really important, that if you ever have lulls in your business as an agent or as an investor, if you know your numbers, and you can afford mentally and financially to, hold on till you get that next little bit of momentum. For instance, hey, if you're an agent and it takes 10 listing, say a certain number of listing appointments, or for us meeting with sellers, and we've already had that amount of appointments, and we didn't get a deal under contract. It's a law of averages. So maybe we go on the next ones and all of a sudden we get 2 in a row. So are you going to stay the course? And so that we stayed the course. It was, we weren't killing it every month during COVID, no, but we were always doing a lot of things over the phone. So we have, we definitely do implement that, but also we do work with some elderly people where they would like for us to come to our house sometimes. So we come to people's house sometimes and meet with them if they're elderly and they don't feel comfortable doing everything over the computer, but we also can do a lot virtually. How about you? Did you do some stuff virtually and some stuff in person?
We had to, yeah. And so, of course, you just pivot and you do your business differently. But, the real estate market, the traditional real estate market as a whole is like insane right now because there's no inventory. We're at a historically low level of inventory, especially in Houston. So you guys that are doing investing and flipping and wholesaling, how has that affected you? Are you seeing the same kind of constraints, or are you still just flying through everything?
That's a good question. It's a great question. I think as the market changes, the opportunities change. And so, and I haven't been doing this for 20 years or been through multiple recessions, but from what I understand is, right now, for instance, it could take, for us at least, it's taking a little bit more marketing dollars, or whether that be money or time or relationships, it's taking a little bit of more marketing on the front end to get a deal. So we don't, we actually spend multiple thousands of dollars to get a property that we can add value to, rehab, and then resell to a homeowner. But our profits on the back end have gone up. We have a couple properties that we'll run our numbers conservatively based on what, we say a lot of times we're running an ARV of what the property should be worth when it's fixed up. And it just so happens that when we run a conservative rehab number on the front end going in, that, 60 days later, it depends on how big the rehab project is, but whenever we're going to sell it on the back end, a lot of times we can price that inventory a little bit higher and reap some rewards on the back end, but it's a little harder right now on the front end, to be frank with you. So I think when the market shifts to a downturn, from everything that I've known, your marketing spend, it's going to cost you less money to acquire that lead, but maybe, you're going to have to, you're not going to milk as much on the back end with you as an agent or you as an investor, however that disposition strategy is. So that's a little bit about my thoughts. And
well, my thoughts when you were sitting there talking about that, when you guys acquire a property, For one, I think a lot of people have a misconception about that. My understanding is that most of the time you're doing people a favor. There's people that need to get out of their house. There's people that are in certain situations and they need your help, period. And so no one's getting taken advantage of. And so I think that's a complete misconception. Right now, with the market like it is, like even when we price properties traditionally, we're having to relook at them, every 30 days because the market's going up and values are going up. They're not going up because market value is going up. They're going up because buyer demand. And so the buyers are driving the values up. And so for you guys who are investors, and when you're getting a house ready to go on the market in 30, 60 days from now, that home's going to be worth more than what you thought when you first acquired it, which is an amazing thing as an investor because your return's a lot higher. It's a great market, I think.
I completely agree. All the people we work with are very thankful. The people that respond, the people that we talk to, that say mean things, that obviously that say, oh, you're getting ripped off or something like that. They're not really the people. They're not our people. So they're not, and the service just doesn't fit them. And I think this is a service. I think this is actually a service business, ironically. Not really. I don't really think it's, I don't like to think we are investors, but I actually like to think of it more of a service business. I guess a quick story. So I had a real estate agent in Spring, Texas that I had a very close relationship with, a great older lady named Rose. And this is an example of how agents, can work with investors and how, not all agents that call an agent, want that same route. So she called Agent Rose that we were working with. She was at her house in Spring, Texas. She says, "Hey, I'm talking to some investors, and I'm curious if you hear this from some buyers too. They're like, hey, I have an offer from, another investor. They say it's cash, or I have another offer, right? And I'm not sure what I should do. Should I go list it with you, or should I take this other offer?" And she says, and we tell this to everyone, you could definitely get the most if you put it on the retail market with an agent. But she said, hey, if that's not the route you want to go, I have another option. I have an investor, Ben, and he treats everyone right. And I can get him over here today, and we can see what a fair cash offer is on your property. So she calls me. We actually got the team out there the same day. Made a deal. She was actually in town. She actually inherited the property. She was only in town for that day.
Wow.
That day, we were able to agree on a deal. She was able to leave all her things in the property. As well as I do, traditional buyers are not going to like a bunch of, Grammy and Grandpa's things in the property.
No.
You probably tell people, hey, you need to get this thing looking a little better. And we were actually able to get Rose a commission on the front end. We paid the seller's closing costs. And then we did do a renovation of the property. It did need a little bit of love. Our favorite types of properties are grandma specials, I call them, where they just need a little bit of updating. They need a little bit of updating. And we renovated the property, and then we actually relisted with the property with a Rose on the back end. And that's what we tell all the agents, that if they could, give us one shot, so we can treat you and your seller right, and we'll give you the listing on the back end as well, and get you paid to write the offer on the front end. So and I think that's a good example of how, how we possibly could work together with agents, and then also how, maybe people call an agent because they're trusted, but she called an agent who was trusted, but maybe she did want another option, or just, some words of wisdom, like, hey, this is what we need to look out for as well.
Yeah.
And some people are great investors, and I've also, heard some horror stories as well. So.
Oh, I have too. And so I imagine through everything that you've been learning so far, you've seen a lot of that. What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes people make when they try to do the house flipping thing?
The biggest mistakes?
Yeah.
For investors flipping houses.
Yep.
I think the biggest mistake comes in actually on the construction management side. So, because we can talk about the most, obviously a deal is very important. So we're not going to, we have to have some equity in the deal. If we're doing a fix and flip, we have other strategies. We actually have other strategies where we don't even need equity in the property. But those aren't the cash offer route. That's a different route. But on a traditional cash offer route where we're fixing the property to resell, step one is a good deal. After that, step two, which unfortunately I've done before, Trisha, that's how I know about it, is you can buy a property. I think in this case we bought a property for $115,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, in Tomball, Texas, and we started renovations, and actually basically, so the problems start when you hire a GC the wrong way. So hired the GC the wrong way. We tried to get the bid for material and labor all together. So that's, fault. One of the biggest faults of the GCs, never get the quote for material and labor all together.
Okay.
So we started with that. Of course, they were incentivized to, if you do that, they're incentivized to buy the cheapest material so they can make the most in the labor, right? And then, there were multiple slowdowns with the project, multiple, the city, when you have the biggest risk to investors also is when the city slows down your project.
I bet.
Yes, the city, they want to make sure we're doing things the right way, and that's cool and fine, but it's not their responsibility that we're paying high interest. Right now we have over $1 million in loans out, and when our time slows down on these loans because the city's taking 2 and 3 weeks to come out and check the project and recheck the project for the plumbing or this and that, it really eats into your profits quicker than you would know. So I think a lot of the faults come in from managing the project. You really have to get that contractor and know how to manage that contractor. Focus on your timeline. So if you were starting on fixing and flipping properties and that was what you would want to be doing, I would start with some minor jobs. And then also a good way to get contractors is ask other investors, do you have any referrals? Yep. We actually didn't get this contractor from another investor. He was kind of somebody we just found on Facebook. So those are a couple things that I would look out for. We ended up selling the property, for well over $200,000, but we still didn't make any money because of not managing the property, managing the project right. When your project starts to go over on timeline, and things like that. So as you move forward, you look at how am I going to finance this at the best options that I have. How am I going to finance this with the best options I have available? Which starting out, you're going to have to use some of those more expensive options, which that's perfectly fine to get a track record, start getting more experience, becoming more lendable, bankable. We're working on trying to go out to some community banks right now and build more relationships with them, build more relationships with private lenders and things like that. That's actually why me and CJ and Josh started the Flip Texas for private lenders is one of the reasons. You just work on getting that construction dialed in a little more, the lending, and then obviously the deals and relationships.
Yeah. So let's talk about Flip Texas for a minute. So for one, if you guys haven't paid attention, we have this group. Ben's formed this with some of his people. And so we have an event this Thursday downtown. Talk a little bit about this group and how it began and what the whole meaning of it is.
Sure. So we were on a vacation. Me, my friend CJ, and I think three other investors were snowboarding in Utah. And we went down to our friend Cody Hoffhein's office in Utah, Utah Cell now. And somehow in this process, when you go on trips, I noticed you actually get some good ideas sometimes. So that'll be good, Angel, for when you go on your trip, you get good ideas. And CJ mentioned it. He said we should do, I think maybe even one of his coaches had told him this, CJ's big on the coaches and stuff, and which is good.
Yes.
And CJ was like, hey, I want to do a networking event. And I had always thought of, I'll do that one day, is that something that I can do? I'll do it one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whenever he said that, I thought, wow, this would be the perfect person to do it with. He's been in the business for 9 years, and his business partner, which is his dad, has been in the business for, longer than 9 years. They've got rental properties in Midland, Odessa, plenty of properties out there, Dallas and Houston. And I thought this is a perfect person to kind of commit to this with. It's going to be a big commitment. But yeah, I decided to help him out. And our main, our to be frank with you, some of our reasons for doing it were so we could raise more private money for properties, whether that be for rentals, Airbnbs, different types of creative purchases, and as well as fix and flips as well. And then also, also for deals, also to kind of help people.
Yeah.
And, share tips and tricks on how you don't lose money on projects. So
Contractors, right? Resources.
Yep.
Because you've got this group put together. So of course we went through COVID and people weren't doing live events. You didn't do any live events during COVID, did you?
No. So we kind of came out hammering 2021. I think beginning of 2021, we came out with a boom, and we kind of started when people were just starting to, come out of the closet.
Yep.
From after COVID. And so we're Flip Texas now. We were Flip Houston. We're Flip Texas now, and we bring together real estate agents, real estate investors, contractors, all these people.
Lenders, right?
It's a lot of people tell me, ask me stuff about real estate. Hey, how can I do this? It's a lot of puzzle pieces to put. It's not rocket science. We're not building rockets. We're putting a lot of puzzle pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
Is how I would kind of think about it sometimes. And so we have insurance people. We have title people. I mean, talk about losing money real quick. Is if you have a title agent that's not closing late, and your seller's like, I'm sure, as you know, Tricia, tensions run a little high around closing, right?
Yeah.
When am I going to get my money? All that good stuff. So
so even one of your events, like 2 months ago, you went like max capacity, like you exceeded the amount of people, right, that could be in there. How many people do you think you had at that event?
We've been experimenting with venues, and we're growing. The events we had in downtown, I believe we were, maybe a little over 200 people, maybe.
Yep.
We have had up to I believe when we had a really big commercial investor, Boris Sanchez from Houston. He owns hundreds of apartment units here in Houston. We had him come out. We got about 300 people out to a local bar here. So that was a little crazy. We are actually going to be in the Galleria here this Thursday. So in a couple days.
Where are we going, Ben?
Yours truly, Tricia Turner, will actually be giving us some gems as well, and we'll be speaking, as well as some other top producing real estate agents. Some of them are also investors as well. Tricia Turner, James Toller, Stephen Franco. So obviously I can't say enough about Tricia. I mean, she's got her own TV show. She's doing, plenty of business. James Toller, he, I guess, to be frank with you, James Toller lends me money. So he has.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a small world. All of us really know each other. So he has out, a couple $100,000 with us on a project right now. And then he's making over $1 million a year with flips, agents, and lending, combined easily. And then Stephen Franco he was previously the number one agent on the Mark Demas team. We're still working on getting Mark Demas out. If anyone can get Mark Demas out to the event, or Adam Olson, that would be great. Please message me. That's something we're working on. And so Stephen Franco is doing a lot of deals as an agent as well as an investor. He's actually, I haven't seen too many people doing the agent and investor side well. Yeah. Like for us, we're really just doing the investing side. Yep. I believe you're mostly doing the agent side now. I haven't seen too many people doing both. James is still more doing investing mostly, but Steven is actually one of the few people that I've seen doing both. And so we have plenty of questions for him about that. And then the last person is Brant Phillips. Brant Phillips is with EXP as well. Quick bio on him. I know he's done, hundreds of investing transactions, and he's been in this for over 10 years. So CJ knows him a little bit better than me, but I know he's been doing this for over 10 years. I know he's done multiple hundreds of investing deals. So I'm pretty excited. We should have a big turnout. We should actually have 300 people or over at this event.
Nice.
So it'll be actually on the rooftop. It'll be on the rooftop as well in the Galleria. So it'll be awesome. And
so tell everybody where it's at. Which place downtown in the Galleria?
Let me see.
I'm gonna make you look, huh? I didn't look at the address either. I know it's somewhere down there.
I can find
it. And it's Thursday, right?
It's this Thursday at 7 p.m.
Okay. It's free, right?
It's free. It's free 99. Yes, I don't know
the name of the place.
I don't know many events that are providing this much value for free. Yeah. We had Cody Hoffine come in from Utah, and he's like, "Man, I can't believe y'all are doing this for free." So really, we're just looking to definitely give value to everyone. How can everyone help each other? What we can do is, if possible, I can go into this link, or we can go in this link and add the Eventbrite. Yep. That would be incredible to add the Eventbrite. Yeah. I don't have the address right now, but
we'll stick the link in there. We'll stick it in the comments.
Cool.
That way everybody can get in there.
My guy Angel just brought it here. So it is. Thanks Angel. It's 6633 Travis Street, Houston, Texas 77030. And it's going to be.
Is that where we were last month?
No, okay. We were in downtown. Now we're in the Galleria. So yeah, you could say there will be some high quality networking there, to say the least. Yep. And so definitely come check it out if you're an agent, investor, or anything related. There's plenty of people in related industries that help us out. Because we just can't do this alone. We need a network. We need to put together those puzzle pieces. So. And
I believe that anytime you're trying to learn something new, you should learn from people who are doing it and then model what they're doing. And so people that don't show up to these events are just crazy because they're free. It's like it's free education for you.
Yep, definitely.
It's a no-brainer. What time do you think it normally ends? 9 or 10?
So we start at. It depends on the venue, because when we were at the bar, everyone's where's the after party, drinking and stuff. But no, we're gonna start at 7, and we'll probably be 7 to 9:30 for sure. I'd have to look back. 7 to 9:30 for sure. We'll have general networking. We'll introduce all of our sponsors. We'll have multiple lenders there. We're introducing title companies and home warranty people, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'd have to
everything real estate related.
Yeah, and then we'll have our real estate agent panel. We're going to talk about what's working for real estate agents right now in this market. I'd love to have you up and talk about that at another time, because I'd love to see the comparisons.
Sure.
I know you do a lot of marketing as well, and think that's just as important as I do. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to do a question, real informal question and answer style, and yeah, go from there.
Love it. Hey Ben, tell everybody the name of your company.
Yes. So I'm Ben Naumann. I'm with Christian House Buyers. If y'all are an agent or investor, I'd love to work with you, wholesaler, anything like that. My personal cell phone number is 281-733-7862, or reach me at ben@thechristianhomebuyers.com. And so I have that. I also have Liberty Land Buyers. We're always doing multiple land deals, and we're just going to continue to grow on that. And then also my other company is Flip Texas. We're starting off with events here in Houston. We will be doing events in Fort Worth, Dallas, probably San Antonio, all around Texas, because we are looking to grow those puzzle pieces really all around Texas. So, and help people out with that. So.
And these events are monthly. So it's like a routine.
Yep.
You guys need to get in the routine of learning about flipping, because it's a whole nother industry in addition to real estate sales that you can do really well with. I mean, look at Ben, he's growing super fast. I love it.
Appreciate it, Trisha.
Yeah, thank you for being on here with me today.
I know you're a very giving person, and you've always inspired me with your with your drive and ethics as well. So
thank you. So I'll see you guys Thursday. Ben will see y'all Thursday. We're going to drop the link in the comments below. This is going to be all over YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. So you guys make sure and register, because we're going to hit capacity, I'm sure, right, Ben?
Yep, we will. So make sure you can get the tickets while they're still available.
Yep.
I believe there is a limited capacity. So make sure you get your tickets as soon as possible. And look forward to seeing with y'all there. Thanks, Trisha. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all make sure and reach out to Ben if you can't make it to the event. Ask him any questions about flipping or wholesaling, whatever. He's here to help. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ben.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, you guys.